Have you guys been staying up to date on, like, manipulation tactics? You know, just the ways that you can immorally influence the people around you and in your life who have come to care for and rely on you because they think you're, like, a stable fixture that they can trust? Manipulation is all about abusing this dynamic. Manipulators tend to trend towards insecure and power-hungry, and a lot of the way they conversate involves some projection, but there is, like, an evolving meta as terminology and language changes, as some of these bugs get patched out by being less effective when more people know about them, for better and for worse. Some people are able to use it to protect themselves from those who would want to manipulate them, you know, like us, while also misapplying certain terminology. The thing is, though, a strong foundation is what this entire art form is based off of. And sometimes the most effective manipulation isn't even using things that are, like, technically abusive. They could be, like, neutral tools that you could use in different scenarios, but it is just really, really improper to use when having an emotional and genuine conversation with a loved one. I want to look at an example of somebody who employed these methods incredibly effectively and with near frame-perfect precision. This guy decided to speedrun logical fallacies while fighting with his girlfriend. And what I really appreciate about this guy is he lists out all the ones that he plans on hitting in this itemized alphabetic list. This is a repost to Twitter, but it looks like he clocked out in the end with 100 seconds. That's some pretty good time, man. Now, I should say that this is actually a staged video for training purposes. This guy wrote it out ahead of time as like a kind of example for those who are taking this course with us. And the girl in question is also a part of the scripted dialogue where she responds in certain ways that are supposed to show you identifiers for when you can employ these logical fallacies. If you guys aren't at that unit in school yet, or you weren't paying attention when you got taught it, logical fallacies are usually used in like the medium of debate. They're lines of logic that usually run into a dead end by the end. Like a formal fallacy is an error in the argument's form. Propositional fallacies is an error that concerns compound propositions, like all these prerequisites must be met, and if they are, then bad thing will happen, that sort of thing. Quantification fallacies, formal syllogistic fallacies, that type of thing. There's a lot more we could go into in here, but that's like the basis for the context of the conversation we're going to be reviewing and giving comment on today. Also, just a quick reminder that my limited time U2s is only available for the next 2 weeks. Come May 20th, this little guy is gone forever. There's a lot of cool little details on it, and I've worked really hard with U2s to make it something I'm proud of, and if you guys choose to pick it up, I really appreciate it.
I do not appreciate when you make fun of me in front of my friends.
Well, you're really emotional right now. Maybe we should, like, table this conversation.
Ad hominem in the first 10 seconds, man. I do believe that he deploys these alphabetically, which in practice is probably not the order you're going to be engaging with these things in. But since it's top to bottom, A to Z, it does make it a lot easier to follow for demonstration purposes. An ad hominem is an argument or reaction directed against a person rather than the position they're maintaining. It doesn't tackle the meat of what they're saying, only something about the person who's saying it. This can be a very effective tool.
I'm just trying to tell you how I feel.
No, okay, my mom also says that you can get very emotional. Maybe this is one of those instances.
No.
Yeah, I talked to my mom about my girlfriend, and I really just trust her opinions on the matter. You occasionally see this dynamic where, like, the boy will always defer to the maternal figure in their life. Like, an appeal to authority, and the authority is my mom who I hate. His mom is probably somebody he's complained to his girlfriend about a lot, so him using her word as a reason why he's right has to hurt her in ways that, like, referencing a friend or somebody she can view as some kind of neutral actor probably wouldn't. You're taking the side of a person I've heard you complain about. It can feel like much more of a betrayal, and, you know, coming from this authority might not get as much respect from her because that's the person saying it, but it does put them more off balance, to which you can say, "You were getting emotional," and then repeat the ad hominem process. You can use this justified reaction, considering his girlfriend's experience up to this point, as confirmation that this guy's mom was actually right about her all along.
You made a mean joke at my expense, and I have every right to do it.
You cannot prove that joke was about you.
If this sounds like somebody on a debate stage, like in a presidential election, yeah, but also just, it's like, you can't prove it. Like, we're taking this to civil claims court. Was I making a joke at your expense? Your Honor, she has no proof. Like, you don't say, I wouldn't say that. And if that's how it came out, it's not how I meant it. It's not like saying, I wouldn't do that to you. It's, well, why are you listening to her? She hasn't even proved the axiom yet. This shit is so evil, man. Okay, appeal to emotion. I gotta see this one.
What else would it be about? You literally said my girl.
It could be any girl. Like, if you loved me, you would give me the benefit of the doubt that not everything's about you.
Exactly. You can be as hypocritical as you want if you deploy these in the right order. The reaction he's saying she should have, if you really loved me, you wouldn't be doing this to me, can easily be turned on him for actions we have provably just seen him take. It's genius, really. You bring it up before they can rightfully call you out on it, and therefore it disarms them and it makes it seem like, oh, you're just reflecting back anything I say at you. How is this not projection? Truly evil, terrible, fucked up person shit. A bandwagon fallacy is actually one I'm not familiar with. Let's see what to be looking for. Argumentum ad populum, appeal to people. A fallacious argument which is based on claiming a truth or affirming something is good or correct because many people think so. Ooh, this is a spicy one. The question is, what kind of bandwagon is he gonna be gesturing to? Is it a very general one that like could be the population at large, or is it like their wider friend group, which makes it more personally scathing? I just had like a Mike Tyson I just did it again, a Mike Tyson lisp.
You literally made a joke at my expense in front of my friends and embarrassed me.
Well, then if everyone was laughing, what was the problem?
Oh, that is devious, man. He spun it contextually too. That's some very, very skilled sleight of hand we're seeing, even though this particular interaction is scripted and he's not doing this to the person that is acting as his girlfriend. You can tell that he has a practiced hand using these in his day-to-day life. I'm willing to bet this guy has a middle management position at work that he did not get hired immediately into, but instead was able to work his way up the corporate chain by using methods like these. Now, this next one, begging the question, is a term that you've probably heard used incorrectly and not in the context of an argumentative fallacy. Some people say, well, that begs the question, when they usually mean to say something like, well, that brings up the question of, or that raises the question. Like this thing that happened pretty obviously will make a lot of people ask this thing. Begging the question is different. It occurs when an argument's premise assumes the truth of the conclusion. It's backwards. People have known for thousands of years that the earth is round, therefore the earth is round. Drugs are illegal, so they must be bad for you. Therefore, we ought not to legalize drugs because drugs are bad for you. You might agree with the arguments being made here, but the way that they are made is flawed in its construction, which, you know, doesn't actually matter to their effectiveness as much as you would think. Let's see how this guy puts it together in the context of an emotional conversation with his girlfriend.
Okay, so you are admitting you did make a joke about me.
No, oh my gosh, it's a joke. By definition, a joke can't be serious.
Oh, wow. And that is the strength of begging the question. You can present something that is objectively subjective as something objective. I'm about to make a correctly phrased argument, but by definition, definitions are fluid. They are created based on how we use words, and that's why words change meaning over time. Goons used to be henchmen. Oilers used to be people who worked in the oil industry. Now they're people who give you lots of gift subs on Twitch. Now, if I'm correct on this next one, cherry picking is going to give us an insight to a more personal detail of their lives that could be one of the more foundational things going on in the background of this whole hypothetical conversation.
You're my boyfriend. Why would you insult me? That's so mean.
Okay, well, if I'm so mean, then why did I pay for lunch after? Is that so mean?
Hey, he made a joke at your expense and he paid for lunch? That's goated, man. They act like two legends cannot coexist. These are two separate generational plays that give him ammo to make use of these arguments later. Very, very expertly done here.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. I feel like I can't even trust you anymore.
Okay, well, fine. If you can't trust someone, well, then maybe you're just not ready for a relationship.
Oh, dude. Okay, I gotta drop character for a second. Hearing shit like that, just like, you know it's a skit. You know it's a joke. But you understand in that moment when you hear some shit that just like triggers you specifically why rage bait can work on anybody, even those aware that they can be caught off guard by it. Like, I'm sure some of y'all watching this video and seeing the way he talked had different moments where he said some shit that just made you inwardly wince. Oh, that one did it for me. It's like, oh, that's infantilizing. What do you mean you don't trust the guy who killed your mom? Maybe you're not ready for a relationship if you can't trust people. No, I don't trust you, motherfucker! I don't trust you specifically!
Please be an adult and have a serious conversation.
I'm being an adult.
Feeling.
Yeah, I'm being an adult, but maybe you're the one raising your voice, so maybe you're not the one ready for a serious conversation.
Oh my god. Again, this is exactly what we set up in the beginning. He can use her rightful emotional reaction to him doing some scummy shit as proof that he was right about her being being emotional, shutting them down for feeling any sort of way, no matter how justified in that feeling they are. If you know my lore, then you know that one's personal. Those last two fucked me up hard, man. Those are the ones that, like, I felt in my soul, like, oh, don't do that, that's mean. Okay, the in-character hat is going back on, back to being a huge piece of shit, that thing I always am.
I'm not raising my voice. I'm trying to tell you how I feel, and you're doing everything to ignore me.
I'm not ignoring you, but we do have the dinner reservation, and I don't know why we're not focusing on that.
Not only is he expertly weaving this conversation in a way that will completely entrap someone who came into it in good faith, he's also making it seem like what's happening to them is their fault. Oh, you don't like this conversation? Well, it's not even the time for it anyways, man. We have dinner reservations. Like, I don't know why we're so focused on this. Like, she clearly stated her intentions and what she's trying to do here, and nope, dinner. Red herring is a risky one to play, though, because it's very easy to spot at times if you aren't careful about how you implement it and throw it into the conversation. There's only a certain amount of apropos of nothing that you can get away with before somebody cracks you before you manage to crack them. This guy has 2 more fallacies in the list to go, so let's see how he ties this whole thing up in a bow. Bars.
Oh my gosh, I'm canceling the reservation.
Okay, well, fine. We cancel the reservation, then I guess we'll just cancel the whole relationship.
Oh, he is going all in. He is expecting that she won't want to end it. The slippery slope, I feel, is very kind of Greek prophecy in nature, because by suggesting the idea, the reactions you get out of the people you're trying to explain it to, no matter how valid you're talking about it, could radicalize them into speeding it up as well. The worst part is they might agree. The risk you take is them agreeing with you and choosing to make a decision off of that. You can see the worry in this guy's face that she's just not having it, man. If you find any of these tactics being used against you, you have to know your counters as well. They can be genuine in calling someone out for petulant behavior that they do deserve calling out on, or it could be equally as toxic. That's what we're here to learn.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I guess I'm just the worst boyfriend ever because I made a joke.
And there it is. He was slightly put off, but he knew that the only thing to do now was double down. Never bend, never fold. You are incapable of making a mistake. You beautiful narcissist, you. You are infallible and everybody else is wrong. If they were really so right, they would know all of these tactics in order to use them against you. I mean, it only makes sense. Of course, everybody else is trying to do this to me. I do it to them all the time. I'm just better. And you know, he hit all of the logical fallacies in a sub 100 when we look at the actual runtime. The only thing left is the closing statements of his girlfriend, who probably didn't even realize they were in a debate, you know, because it was a genuine conversation she went into trying to get something positive out of.
I literally can't even do this anymore. I'm just gonna leave. Please don't call me.
It's gotta be a record.
Gotta be a record, dude. You crushed that, man. How many do you get total? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 logical fallacies in under 100 seconds. By the time he was done saying the last fallacy, he had a sub 100, man. He was averaging more than 1 every 10 seconds. That's allowing room for his girlfriend to speak and set him up for the next fallacy he's gonna use. Beautiful work, and I hope you guys were able to learn something out of his flawless performance there. Before I wrap up this video, I am gonna say, yes, this was a joke. The point is, like, this is all fucking terrible. This was a skit. This dude was not actually doing it to his girlfriend. Do not worry. But if you guys want me to go over some of the counters you can use when faced with any of these, let me know in the comments. You can also send me any video topics at that kwytebox email in the description. Anyways, piss off.